All right, today we're jumping into a story that feels like it's straight out of a movie. It's one of the most critical archaeological missions happening right now, the race to save Heliopolis, the legendary lost city of the sun. So let me ask you this. What if the most sacred city in the world, a place people believed was the literal beginning of everything, was about to be paved over? Just gone. It sounds like fiction, right? Well, it's not. It is happening right now. Yeah, because right now, deep under the crazy, bustling streets of modern Cairo, a small team is in a desperate race against time. They're trying to uncover the secrets of Heliopolis before the city literally swallows it whole. This isn't ancient history we're talking about. This is a crisis unfolding as we speak. Okay, Section 1. Race against time under Cairo. We're talking about an emergency dig here, folks, an incredible effort to save the cradle of the entire Egyptian world. You gotta understand, this is not your typical dig out in the quiet desert. No way. This team is working in Materia, a super dense, crowded district of Cairo. I mean, they're dealing with buildings, traffic, people living their lives all around them. And get this, the groundwater is so high they can't even dig regular pits. They have to use these special core drills to get these tiny, precious glimpses into the past. And the craziest part? They're working on the last few undeveloped plots of land, and guess what's planned for them? Yep. New apartment buildings. The clock is ticking, and it is ticking loudly. I mean, the stakes here are just astronomical. This city was the spiritual center of Egypt for 3,000 years, and the emergency dig, it only kicked off back in 2011 because the pressure from new construction was just getting too intense. Now, today, we are literally in the final moments before all that history gets sealed under concrete for. So, next up, a lost king's giant face. Because even with the clock ticking, they've found stuff that absolutely stunned the world. This first one, it was the clue that started to reveal the city's forgotten power. So picture this, it's March 2017. The team is sloshing around in mud and groundwater, and then they hit something massive. It's a colossal statue, slowly, piece by piece, emerging from the muck. I mean, this discovery made headlines everywhere. A giant from the ancient past was literally rising up from beneath a modern city. Just incredible. So the big question was, who is this guy? The immediate guess from everyone was Ramesses the Great, right? I mean, he's the celebrity pharaoh, the master builder, the obvious choice for a giant statue. But something about the style felt a little off. And the real owner? It was a total shocker. Psamtik I, a much lesser-known pharaoh who ruled during a period of decline. But here's the thing. He was the one who pulled off the impossible and reunited a broken Egypt. It was a genuine historical plot twist. And here's the smoking gun. On the back of the statue, they found an inscription with one of the king's 5 names, Neb-SB, which translates to Master of Energy. And you know who was the only pharaoh to use that name? Psamtik I. Bam, mystery solved. He put his own giant statue in the most sacred city on earth to prove he was legit, to show he was following in the footsteps of the greats. Okay, but as amazing as that is, the story of Heliopolis goes way, way deeper than any one pharaoh. We're about to go beneath the kings, all the way down to what the ancient Egyptians believed was the very beginning of the world. So, using those deep core drills, geologists found something incredible. About 12 feet down, they hit a sand dune that was 15,000 years old, just this massive hill in the middle of a totally flat landscape. Now to us, that's a cool geological anomaly. But to the ancient Egyptians, it was everything. They believed they had found the primordial hill, the very first scrap of land to rise out of the endless, chaotic ocean at the dawn of creation. The entire Egyptian creation myth, it all starts right here, on this very spot. See, in the beginning, there was nothing but water, which they called Nu. Then the god Atum rises up on that primordial hill. From himself, he creates the first gods, Shu, the air, and Tefnut, the humidity. They, in turn, give birth to Geb, the earth, and Nut, the sky. The entire world, all the gods, and even the pharaoh's divine right to rule. It all began right there. Okay, which leads to a massive question. If Heliopolis was the most sacred place in Egypt, the literal center of their universe, then where the heck did it all go? Well, that brings us to our next part, the world's greatest heist, and how this legendary city was basically plundered into nothing. The simple and kind of brutal answer? As the old gods started to fade away, Heliopolis became, for all intents and purposes, a giant open-air hardware store. For centuries, new empires looked at it and didn't see a sacred city. No, they saw a convenient quarry just packed with amazing, high-quality, pre-cut stone for their own projects. And the scale of this heist was just staggering. The Fatimid Caliphate, they took temple stones and walls to build Old Cairo. The Ptolemaic dynasty, they hauled off who knows how many sphinxes to decorate their new capital, Alexandria. Then came the Roman emperors, who shipped its incredible obelisks all the way to Rome. And it didn't stop there. Even in the 1800s, the last two standing obelisks, known as Cleopatra's Needles, were carted off to London and New York. The city was literally taken apart and scattered across the entire globe. Just look at the obelisks alone. These were the giant stone sun pillars, the absolute icons of Heliopolis. Rome, by itself, has 5 of them. London has 1, New York has 1. The sacred symbols of this city are now just decorations in the main squares of other empires. It's wild. And all of this brings us right back to today, to the final countdown for Heliopolis. After all that plundering, what could possibly be left? What secrets are we on the verge of losing? Forever? The situation is, frankly, pretty grim. Look at this. Researchers figure they've only properly excavated a tiny, tiny fraction of the site, maybe 5%. A whopping 75% is already gone, buried under Cairo. So everything we could possibly still learn, all our hopes, are pinned on that last 20%, the sliver of land that's at immediate risk. It all comes down to this one last chance. And you really have to wrap your head around the scale here. We're not talking about just one temple. Heliopolis was the largest temple complex in all of Egypt. It covered a whole square kilometer. Think of it like the Vatican of its day, an entire sacred city just sleeping under the ground. So it really makes you wonder, right? After all that looting, all those centuries of being picked apart, what could possibly still be down there, waiting beneath the streets? Honestly, the possibilities are just mind-blowing. Could we find the great temple library they called the House of Life? Maybe even the forerunner to the legendary Library of Alexandria? What about the tombs of high priests like Imhotep? You know, the guy who designed the very first pyramid. Could there be lost temples from famous pharaohs like Djoser or Akhenaten? Or maybe records from the world's very first astronomers? We might even find clues to what finally destroyed the city. All of that knowledge could be just a few feet under the ground. And that brings us to the final, urgent truth. Every single day, Cairo keeps growing. And with every new foundation they pour, another piece of this incredible ancient world is just gone. So the question isn't really just for the archaeologists anymore, it's for all of us. What secrets, what stories, what human knowledge will be sealed away forever when that concrete finally sets?